I'm just drinking out of a margarine container. Each to their own. Now, I'm actually very excited to do this video because I have been trying over and over to perfect burger buns. And I've just discovered this recipe. Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. It's like they come out like store-bought. In fact, better than store-bought. Yes, Olivia, you're taller than me when you stand on tiptoes on a stool. In the past, they've always come out, you know, hard on the top or stodgy in the middle. These are just perfection. They are beautiful. You have to try it. I demand you try it. So here's what you do. First of all,
we need to make some milk.
We need 360 ml of milk. Now, as I might have said before, I use powdered milk because that is how stingy I am. It's pretty easy. You fill it up to a litre.
Hey Mum, it's a meringue.
You put in, not a meringue. You put in 1 cup of powdered milk.
Please, can I just start mixing it?
I just use the cam stuff. Not only is it the cheapest, but it is actually the nicest. I've tried more expensive brands. Go on then, quickly. And you just mix it up and hey presto, you got milk. About 360 mils of milk. And you want that to be warm. Put it in the microwave for about 1 minute 30.
1 minute 30.
Now, I should also point out, in case you can see all the chaos behind me, there's all Clint's tools on the workbench. Because, all hail my husband, it only took about 6 months since I first pointed out it wasn't working properly. He fixed the oven. Clap for Dad for fixing the oven.
Yeah!
While that's heating up, into a bowl. We'll add the warm milk in a moment. We also want to add 1 egg.
I want to do it yet with you.
You're going to do the egg. Right. Good job. Who's going to tip the milk in?
Me. I see it.
Hang on. You've got to do the egg. Sam can tip the milk in with this neggy.
It really is setting around. I won't put it in.
No, I'll put. Oh.
That's why you need to trust me to put it in.
So on 60 grams of butter, or just, you know, belly brand table spread. Whatever floats your boat. We'll go melt it first.
You did the egg. She did the milk. I got to do the poo. I get to do the poo.
Olivia the musical. 60 grams of melted butter. Carefully, don't get silly about it.
Ooh la la. It looks like the sun.
We need 2 tablespoons of sugar.
Ooh la la. No,
Alright,
I use salt on it. Now I need the other one. Just put on the other side. Oh.
Thank you, that is a tablespoon. Now, need about 2 1/4 tablespoons of yeast.
Yes.
1. So, just on a low speed, we're just going to mix that up together. Just until it's nice and combined.
No,
Hearing gobbles.
because I'm going to get ready to dive in
Spilled
there.
water all over the bench. So we just want to let that sit until it starts going foamy.
That looks like brains.
Like brains, you reckon? We want to add 3 1/2 cups of flour. About 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. I'll just do the teaspoons. You guys can all help with kneading it if you want to.
What? What is
Like
it?
mushing it. Stir that to combine it
I
all
wanna
together.
do it.
No. You go. This will still be a little bit sticky. Normally when you start kneading, because you do need to knead this, you need to knead it. For about 6 minutes, give or take. Now, the trick to keeping this nice and soft is to try and add as little flour as possible. So you want to make it so that, you know, you're not going to get it all over your hands when you knead it, but only just, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put a bit of flour on the bench and a bit of flour on my hands.
And my hands.
I'm going to scrape this here.
I need a little on my hands.
Just let me start kneading it first. Right, so you just want to get this covered in the flour. So it should still feel tacky, but not quite be getting all over your hands. So I've just got kind of flour on my hands.
Oh, nice big burger there.
So that's not one big burger.
Yes, it is. You said it would be. Just kidding.
So, and this dough should feel really, really, really soft, and it does. Do you guys want it? Go then, just put a little bit on your hand. What we have learned today is you shouldn't really let kids help you knead this, because it's much softer than your average dough. And they don't quite understand. You need to be a little bit gentle. So anyway, so I'm going to time myself about 6 minutes. Just mushing, mushing, mushing. You know, if it starts feeling a bit too sticky, a bit more flour with it. Right, it's been about 6 minutes worth of kneading. Now, the beauty of this is, if I was kneading normal bread, that would have been kind of tough, and that would have been quite the workout for my arms, but because this dough is so soft, it's actually really easy. So, and this should be still feeling slightly sticky, a bit elasticy. Just when you touch it, it should bounce back slightly.
I want to touch. I want to touch.
Can you get a clean bowl? Pop that in the bowl. Just have to leave that in a bowl for about an hour or until it's almost doubled in size. Cover that up. Now, it does help if your house is warm. So, you know, either have your fireplace or your heat pump going, or if it's just a nice warm day like it is here today, it's fine. It's, you know, nice and warm in here. So, we'll leave that for about an hour and we'll see you back. Okay, so that's risen up quite nicely. It's been about an hour. Now, you want to undo all its good work by punching it down. And then you want to separate it out into balls. Now, you probably want about sort of tennis ball size. They are going to rise up a bit further. So, grab a baking tray, some baking paper. I tend to reuse my baking paper. Sorry if the light's a bit funny. We've got the sun coming in at weird angles at the moment. Punch that down. Still the same consistency, slightly on the sticky side. Now flour my hands a bit again, just so I don't get it everywhere. And just form sort of about tennis ball size, I tend to do. Just little balls. I tend to put them about 2 centimetres apart. Right, so that's made 7. I actually made 8 last time I did this, but I think I left it to rise a little bit longer. I don't know if that makes a great difference. I'm just a bit impatient because so I was a bit late getting on to dinner tonight, you know, it happens. Now you want to leave them for about another hour. I just normally have a look at how far apart I've put them on the tray and just gauge, you know, once they're either touching or nearly touching, that's when I look at putting them in the oven. So I'll leave those there. Now while I'm waiting for them to rise, what I am going to do, of course you will have seen my burger patty video. You'll probably see me in fast motion making the burger patties and of course the chippies. those have risen up quite a bit, and they are, some of them are touching, some of them are almost touching. So what I'm going to do, my burger patties are ready to go. I'm going to get a bread knife, just to make these look fancy. You don't have to do this at all. I just like to cut a couple of very small slits in the top of the burger bun. And because they keep rising up a bit in the oven, and they rise up, and it kind of, I'll show you, it just makes them look fancy. Go on.
Okay, I will be.
Go
I'll
on,
have a
you.
taste of it anyway.
You go on, you eat the pepper.
I'll have a taste of it.
Tell me how yummy it is. Let's all just watch Olivia eat some pepper. Oh, that's not very much. Oh, you would. Oh, terrible mother. Bernie?
Just a slight tingling sensation.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Refer to my video I made of the time I gave these guys a chili to eat. It was awesome.
I am not going to use it.
You'll put these in a preheated oven at 190 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until they start just looking nice and brown on the top. So I'm just going to put these in the top oven just in about the middle of it. And in the meantime, preheat a frying pan and get those babies on to cook. I have just pulled them out of the oven. They are looking absolutely gorgeous. Just to keep them nice and soft, put a towel over them just for a few minutes and let them cool off a bit because they're a bit hot to handle at the moment. But the tea towel is important because it helps them stay nice and smushy on top.
Oh, what's in the bottom of it?
Chippies.
Oh, chippies. Oh, yes.
Because now we have 2 working ovens, we can do chippies as well.
Oh, now if you told me that 6 months ago, it might have happened a little sooner.
First of all, look at these. Oh my goodness. They are so soft. Look at that. They are absolutely beautiful. Gonna separate those. Now, also if you want to, you could put like an egg wash on here, like a bit of egg yolk and water, spread it over and sprinkle sesame seeds or something. You see the little indents I made on them? Oh, they're still nice and warm. I like to do it while they're still a little bit warm. Oh, and look at that on the inside. They are just so soft. They're just so nice and soft and even the whole way through. Now, we've got one left over. Clint has 2 burgers because he's a growing boy. Just so you know, these freeze brilliantly. You know, just stick them in a bag in the freezer, defrost them. I sometimes give them to Clint for his lunch or something. Or butter, bit of mustard, in a pretty even squiggle. That's important. Tartar sauce with the squiggle going in the opposite direction to the mustard, so it's kind of like a zigzag. To put my cheese under the patty, so it kind of goes melty. Oh, look at that patty. That's good stuff. Patty on top of the cheese. Anyone knows beetroot is essential. Piece of tomato. Normally I'd put lettuce on now, but I suddenly found we were out of lettuce, but we're growing radishes in the veggie patch at the moment. Radish leaves make a good lettuce alternative. They're good in salads and stuff. Or they're good in cooking. You can even chop them up and put them in your burger patties, if you so choose. This mayonnaise is nice, by the way, Pam's. Just Pam's classic mayonnaise. It's actually really nice. Normally I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise, but this stuff is so yummy. Add a scoop of those chippies and you are officially a dinner hero. That is one mean burger, and how cool is it to say you made the bun, you made the patty, you made the whole thing from scratch. That is awesome. And look how nice and soft and squishy it is. And that is so yummy. I can't fit the whole thing in my mouth all at once. I'm a lightweight. Big question is, do I tell the kids dinner's ready? Or do I just enjoy this moment with my burger? Hit the like button. Leave me a comment, subscribe if you want, and yeah, make some burgers.